humans are not the smartest beings in the universe. For as long as humans have walked the earth, we have carried within us a silent arrogance. We look at the pyramids, the great cities, the vast networks of satellites orbiting our planet, and we say to ourselves, surely, no other being could achieve this. Surely, we are the masters of intelligence. We created languages to capture our thoughts, mathematics to measure the world, and machines to extend our reach far beyond what flesh and bone alone could achieve. In our pride, we believe that human intelligence is the crown jewel of creation. But let me ask you, what if that belief is nothing more than a comforting illusion? What if, in the grand theater of the cosmos, we are not the leading actors but merely the opening act? Think about it. Our brain, as powerful as it is still a limited organ trapped inside a fragile skull. It can process astonishing patterns, but it also forgets, misinterprets, and deceives itself. We only perceive a fraction of reality, our eyes detect less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum, our ears hear a narrow range of vibrations, and our minds are overwhelmed by questions we cannot answer. Even the most brilliant among us are confined to this tiny sliver of perception. Beyond that, darkness, mystery, silence. Scientists remind us that 95% of the universe is made of dark matter and dark energy, substances and forces that shape everything, yet remain beyond our understanding. Imagine this, the very fabric of reality, the essence of existence itself, is a puzzle we cannot solve. Doesn't that sound less like mastery, and more like ignorance dressed in confidence? And here lies the most unsettling truth: if we struggle to comprehend our own universe, how can we be so certain that we are the most intelligent beings within it? Somewhere, perhaps orbiting a distant star or thriving in dimensions our senses cannot perceive, there may exist minds so advanced that our greatest achievements look like the scribbles of children. Our rockets, our computers, our philosophies, all of it might be as primitive to them as stone tools are to us. So before we call ourselves the smartest life in existence, we must confront a chilling possibility: maybe we are not alone, and maybe, just maybe, we are far from the top of the cosmic hierarchy. The limits of human intelligence. We humans like to believe we are the masters of thought, the rulers of logic, the architects of civilization. From fire to flight, from steam engines to artificial intelligence, our achievements give us the illusion of supreme intelligence. Yet, when we step back and look at the universe, a sobering truth emerges: our brains, while extraordinary, are still primitive tools compared to the infinite complexity of reality. Think about this: our senses are alarmingly limited. We only see a tiny slice of the electromagnetic spectrum, what we call visible light. We are blind to most wavelengths: radio waves, infrared, ultraviolet, gamma rays, all invisible to us, though they fill the universe. We hear just a narrow band of frequencies. We smell, taste, and feel far less than countless other species on Earth. Even before we compare ourselves to hypothetical cosmic beings, we are already outclassed by animals around us. Bats can navigate with sonar, eagles can see miles away with super-sharp vision, octopuses can solve puzzles with arms that seem to think independently. If intelligence is measured by perception and adaptability, then perhaps we are not the crown jewel of Earth after all. And what about the universe itself? We proudly explore space with telescopes and rovers, but the truth is humbling: 95% of the cosmos is made of dark matter and dark energy, things we cannot see, touch, or even define. In other words, most of the universe is a mystery, hidden from our understanding. Imagine trying to claim you are the smartest in a room while being blindfolded and deaf to almost everything happening inside it. That's humanity's position in the cosmic theater. Even our most advanced creations, like artificial intelligence, are not proof of ultimate genius. They are echoes of our own limited minds, machines trained on what little we know, still bound by the same ignorance. And as brilliant as our mathematics or physics may seem, they are just languages we invented to describe patterns we barely grasp. What if the universe runs on principles beyond the reach of human logic? What if the very foundation of reality is coded in ways that no human brain could ever decode? Our arrogance blinds us. We assume intelligence must look like ours: language, symbols, machines, equations. But what if true intelligence operates on a level so far beyond us that we would not even recognize it as intelligence? Just as ants cannot comprehend a symphony, perhaps humanity cannot comprehend the true rulers of the cosmos. The question is not whether humans are intelligent. The question is, are we intelligent enough to realize how small we truly are? Signs of higher intelligence beyond us. If humans are not the ultimate measure of intelligence, then what evidence do we have that something greater may exist? Surprisingly, the universe leaves us hints, mysteries that point toward forces, beings, or minds operating at levels we can barely imagine. First, consider the Fermi paradox. In a galaxy with billions of stars, many older than our Sun, and countless planets with habitable zones, the odds suggest that advanced civilizations should exist. Yet, the silence is deafening. Where are they? Some scientists argue they might be too advanced to bother communicating in ways we can understand. After all, do we try to have conversations with ants? If higher intelligences exist, their silence might not mean absence, it might mean irrelevance. Second, look at the strange mathematical order of the cosmos. The universe seems fine-tuned for life. Constants of physics are set with such precision that even the smallest variation would make existence impossible. Is this pure coincidence, or does it suggest a higher order of intelligence behind the structure of reality? Even great physicists admit that the universe feels more like a thought than a machine. Then there are the mysteries closer to home. Throughout history, cultures across the world have reported encounters with beings not entirely human, whether gods, angels, extraterrestrials, or entities beyond comprehension. While skeptics dismiss these as myths or illusions, the consistency of such stories across time and geography is difficult to ignore. Could these be fragments of contact with intelligences operating in dimensions we cannot normally perceive? Even in science, we see glimpses of something beyond. Quantum mechanics, for example, reveals a world where particles can exist in multiple states at once, where observation itself changes reality. Such phenomena defy common sense and stretch the limits of human reasoning. To some scientists, this suggests that the universe itself might be shaped or influenced by a form of intelligence integrated into its very fabric. And what about unexplained phenomena, like the mysterious "wow" signal detected in 1977, a burst of radio energy from deep space that has never been fully explained? Or the strange repeating fast radio bursts observed in recent years? While we cannot claim these are signs of alien intelligence, they serve as reminders that we may not be alone. Perhaps the most humbling possibility is that superior intelligences do not reveal themselves because we are not ready. Just as a child cannot understand the complexities of adult life, humanity may be too primitive to grasp the higher realities of the cosmos. And maybe, just maybe, these greater beings are already here, watching, waiting, unseen, because our minds are too limited to perceive them. The signs are there. The question is not whether they exist, but whether we are capable of recognizing them. What higher intelligence means for humanity. If there truly are beings, or forces, more intelligent than humans, then the implications for our existence are profound. It challenges everything we believe about our place in the universe, our destiny, and even the definition of what it means to be human. First, it humbles us. For centuries, humanity has crowned itself the center of creation, first by placing Earth at the middle of the cosmos, then by declaring ourselves the smartest species. Each time, reality has proven otherwise. If higher intelligences exist, it means our current level of understanding is just a stepping stone, not the peak. We are not the final chapter in the book of intelligence, but perhaps only the opening pages. Second, it forces us to reconsider the nature of progress. We measure advancement by technology, faster computers, stronger rockets, smarter AI. But what if higher beings have evolved in ways that are not technological but spiritual, mental, or dimensional? What if they've mastered consciousness itself, while we still struggle with greed, war, and survival? In that case, our idea of progress might be primitive compared to theirs. Third, it challenges religion and philosophy. Many faiths assume humans have a unique relationship with the divine, that we are chosen, special, set apart. But if other intelligences exist, where do they fit into the grand design? Are they creations of the same source, or are they far older, closer to the origin of everything? Do they play the role of guides, guardians, or indifferent observers? This possibility forces us to expand our spiritual imagination. There is also a psychological impact. Imagine the day humanity confirms without doubt that we are not the smartest, nor the most advanced. For some, it would be terrifying, shattering the illusion of control. For others, it would be liberating, a chance to learn, to evolve, to connect with something greater. It could either unite humanity in humility or divide us further with fear. Finally, it carries a warning. If higher intelligences exist, we must consider their intentions. Not every intelligence has to be benevolent. Just as humans exploit less intelligent species, so too could a greater force exploit us. But equally, they might choose to nurture us, as parents nurture children. Which path they take may depend not on them, but on how we present ourselves. A violent, destructive species may not be welcomed into the greater community of minds. A species striving for wisdom and peace might be. In the end, the possibility of higher intelligence should not paralyze us, it should inspire us. It is a reminder that our journey is not over, that there is far more to learn, and that true intelligence begins with the courage to admit our limitations. The future, where do humans go in a universe of higher intelligence? If we accept the possibility that we are not the smartest beings in the universe, then the question becomes, where do we go from here? What path will humanity take in a cosmos where higher intelligences exist, and perhaps already watch us? The first path is one of denial. Many will cling to the belief that humans are supreme, dismissing any evidence to the contrary. This path is safe, but it is also stagnant. By refusing to look beyond ourselves, we risk becoming like insects on a single leaf, unaware of the vast forest surrounding them. Denial may bring comfort, but it leads to irrelevance. The second path is fear. History shows that when humans encounter something unknown, our first instinct is often suspicion. If we discover undeniable proof of higher intelligences, many might react with panic, hostility, or attempts to weaponize the knowledge. But fear will not protect us, it will only make us appear weaker, more dangerous, and less worthy of contact. The third path, the path of growth, is the most difficult, but also the most rewarding. It requires humility, patience, and courage. Instead of asking, how can we defend ourselves, we must ask, how can we evolve? Higher intelligences might not reveal themselves until we prove that we can rise above our own primitive flaws, endless wars, reckless exploitation of our planet, and blind arrogance. The real test may not be technological at all, it may be moral and spiritual. Imagine a future where humanity chooses curiosity over fear. Instead of competing for dominance, nations unite to explore, learn, and prepare for contact with greater minds. Instead of destroying Earth, we preserve it, knowing that any civilization worthy of respect must care for its home. Instead of drowning in distractions, we expand our inner intelligence, unlocking new dimensions of thought and consciousness. Perhaps this is the true evolution that higher beings are waiting for. And what if, one day, they do reveal themselves? Perhaps not as conquerors, but as mentors. Maybe they will offer knowledge that shatters the limits of physics, medicine, or energy. Maybe they will show us how to expand our minds beyond time and space. Or perhaps they will simply remind us that intelligence is not measured by how much you know, but by how deeply you understand your place in the whole. The future of humanity in such a universe is uncertain. But one thing is clear, our destiny will be shaped not by our inventions, but by our willingness to evolve. We may never be the smartest beings in the cosmos, but we can choose to be wise enough to recognize that fact. And in doing so, we may earn a place in the greater network of minds that has always been out there, waiting. Perhaps the greatest question is not whether higher intelligences exist, but whether we are ready to meet them. The universe is vast, older and wiser than we can comprehend, and we are only beginning to open our eyes. Maybe one day, we will discover that we are surrounded by minds greater than our own, watching, waiting, testing. Or perhaps the real truth is even stranger than we imagine. Until then, humanity stands at the edge of a mystery, staring into the unknown, wondering what intelligence truly means in a universe that refuses to give us all its secrets.